Arguably the most popular gaming award show that happens once a year is the Game Awards. During the Game Awards, they have multiple independent categories, which is obviously the best category besides Game of the Year. So we will look through every year of the Game Awards and see how many indie games got nominated and which ones actually won Game of the Year. Some of these games were nominated for multiple categories and some even won multiple categories. In 2013, we saw 1 indie nomination for Game of the Year and 8 in general, including other categories. The nomination was Gone Home, by the way, by the Fulbright Company. In 2014, there were 0 indie Game of the Year nominations and 7 indie nominations in total. And same with 2015, there were no indie Game of the Year nominations, but there were 12 indie nominations in general for other categories. But then we get to 2016, and that Dragon Cancer won an award, and it made the developer cry, which is completely understandable. Very wholesome moment, but also a very important moment for indie games in general, because this was the first indie game win of the entire Game Awards. So it was a huge deal. It didn't win Game of the Year, but it won an award, which is incredible. There was 1 Game of the Year nomination for an indie game. There was a Games for Impact winner and a Best Art Direction winner. But in total, there were 15 indie nominations. Can I put it here? Would this fit here if I put it here? Imagine if that fit. That would be incredible if this fit. Okay, I'm actually surprised that that fit. Okay, hold on. This is a very unscripted, impromptu moment because I didn't know I could do that. So I'm going to do that from now on. Better than holding it. 2017 was the Cuphead year. There was a winner for Best Debut Indie Game, Best Art Direction, and Best Narrative. There are 15 nominations in total. I can't see the viewfinder, so I'm like doing this, but it's cutting me off. What I love about 2017 is that they had a Best Student Game category, which I thought was really cool, but I'm also really sad that they got rid of that category in general. Bring it back, please. 2018 was the year of Dead Cells. That's when that came out. It won Best Action Game, and also was the year of Celeste, and Celeste won, I think, 2 awards that year. There was a Best Art Direction winner, Best Family Game, which was Overcooked. Good for Overcooked. I love that game. Best Independent Game, which was Celeste, of course. Gotta give it to Celeste. And there were 9 indie nominations in total for different categories. 2019 was the year of Disco Elysium. Best Indie Game, Best Narrative, Best RPG, and Fresh Indie Game all went to Disco Elysium. Honestly, fair enough. It's a great game. I haven't played it, but I've heard great things about it. In total, there were 29 indie nominations. There was also a Games for Impact award that went to Greece. I don't know how to say this, but this game keeps popping up and I see it every once in a while. I kind of have a little bit of a gripe with 2019 specifically because they have a Best Indie Game and a Fresh Indie Game category, which isn't that just the same thing? Well, I'm not sure. Maybe to just give Disco Elysium a landslide victory royale with cheese. So stupid. Why did I write that down? Why did I write that? It's so stupid. This was the same year as both Slay the Spire and My Friend Pedro. Great year for gaming. 2020 was Hades. You know Hades is gonna win something. It won Best Action Game and Best Indie. Fall Guys won Best Community Support. Good for them. Phasmophobia won Best Debut Game. I mean, that's awesome, although personally, I feel like that game fell off after a while. It kind of got worse with like the HUD and everything. That's not important. Tell Me Why won Games for Impact, which is pretty cool. Best Mobile Game and Best Multiplayer Game went to Among Us, which kind of doesn't make sense because it released in 2018. So did it just win an award considering how popular it got, maybe? I don't know how these metrics work. So just because it got popular in 2020, now it deserves an award? Okay, I guess. It's just kind of interesting. I don't really know how the Game Awards like weighs which games to nominate. I thought it was for that year, but if we're just gonna throw Among Us in here, even though it released 2 years earlier, shouldn't it be part of the 2018 showcase? Oh, because nobody heard about it? Okay. 2021 was a huge year for the indie space because this was the first time an indie game won Game of the Year, and it was It Takes Two. Before doing research for this, I thought that an indie game won fairly, frequent, but no. In 2021, this was the first time it happened, and it only happened like one other time. It Takes Two is a beautiful game. I love this game. It definitely deserves Game of the Year, for sure. And I'm so happy whenever an indie dev just wins, takes it all for Game of the Year. It's just so satisfying. And I hope in 2024, we get an indie Game of the Year. Please, Balatro, please win. We need this for the indie space. But yeah, this year had both a Best Independent Game and Best Indie Game, which is literally the same thing. Why are these different categories? I don't know. Do these people not understand that indie means independent? It's short for independent. If you don't know what an indie game is, it's an independent game. I'm gonna rant a little bit here because I keep seeing this trend of people not knowing what an indie game is. It's an independent game. It's not, you know, based on the AAA studios like Activision, Microsoft, you know, stuff like that. Okay, I just went off. It's like, how do people not know what an indie game is? The fact there are debates over this is ludicrous to me. Anyways, there were 33 indie nominations in total. I just spit on the camera. I'm so sorry. 2022 was Stray. I freaking love Stray. I made an hour video on it. Some people didn't understand the game because they didn't finish and get all the memories and stuff, and you kind of need to do that to fully understand the game. But hey, people said, hey, it's a dumb cat game. No, it's a lot more than that if you actually finish the game and get all the memories. But yeah, Stray won Best Debut Indie Game, which is amazing, and Best Indie, which is the literal same category, but good for Stray for winning multiple awards. Honestly, I'm kind of glad that they have multiple same-ish categories for indie, because that way they can say, oh, indie won multiple awards at the Game Awards. It's just impressive. I feel like they kind of have to give that to the indie games because it's mostly AAA. The Game Awards is mostly AAA, right? So to get multiple wins for indies, it's a huge thing. It's amazing. 2022 was also the year of Vampire Survivors, so of course that got nominated for a bunch of stuff. But in total, there were 31 indie nominations in total. Did I say total twice? Probably. 2023 was one of the best years of the Game Awards. Let me tell ya. Game of the year went to Baldur's Gate 3. I streamed the Game Awards last year, I think on Twitch, because I can't find the VOD anywhere, because I would play a compilation of them winning everything. I'll probably still do that. But like, dude, I was cheering for Baldur's Gate last year. I live streamed it. I think it was on Twitch because I need to find the VOD. I wish I still had the VOD because they won so much in like last year and I was so happy. Besides that, Sea of Stars won Best Independent Game. It's not my favorite game, but I understand why people like it. Cocoon won Best Debut Indie Game, but Baldur's Gate 3, let me tell you, it won Best Community Support, Best Multiplayer presented by Discord. That's a weird category. Okay. Best Performance, Best RPG, Game of the Year, Player's Voice. 6 awards. This is, I'm not kidding you. In the entire history of the Game Awards, Baldur's Gate 3 was the first to win this many awards during one show.
Baldur's Gate 3, Baldur's Gate 3, Baldur's Gate 3, Baldur's Gate 3, Baldur's Gate 3.
And if you think Baldur's Gate 3 isn't indie because you've heard some debate online about it, I'd argue that it is an indie game that ballooned to the status of a AAA game, kind of like Among Us, Minecraft, you know. Baldur's Gate 3 was made by Larian Studio, a Belgian independent developer and publisher, which is a big deal because they don't rely on huge studios to develop their game. You can even be under a publisher and still be indie as long as the publisher doesn't influence the process of the development and is only there to essentially market the game. Larian made a good game and got heavily rewarded for it, and it's so cool to see because they definitely deserve all of the praise that they got. Anyways, in total there were 25 indie nominations in the 2023 Game Awards. In the decade of the Game Awards, indie games got nominated about half the time, but an indie game didn't win until 2021. And there have only ever been 2 indie games that have won the Game Awards. It Takes Two and Baldur's Gate 3. Indie games didn't see a win at the awards until 2015. Yet every single year there's been nominations for indie games. The height of the indie game nominations peaked at around 2021 with 33 nominations. In fact, the same year, It Takes Two won Game of the Year. So Game of the Year honestly could be won this year. And I'm honestly hoping it's Balatro. So we are going to take a look at all of the nominations for 2024. Astrobot. I've heard a lot of good things about Astrobot. I've never played it because I don't have a PS5. Balatro, you know Balatro is going to win Game of the Year guaranteed. There's no way. Black Myth Wukong, I've heard good things about this game. This might win. There's a talk about like, oh, should DLC be part of Game of the Year? I'm kind of on the fence. It really depends. This really can't stand on its own because you have to finish the original game in order to even play this, so I don't think this should even count, but it probably will win because it's Elden Ring. Final Fantasy, I've heard this is pretty good. I've seen gameplay of this. Metaphor, I don't know anything about this, but this is like the anime game, right? So I think either this one's gonna win or Elden Ring. It's either gonna be like Final Fantasy, Elden Ring, or Balatro. I hope Balatro wins. That's my hope, but most likely it's probably gonna be Elden Ring, but I'm voting Balatro. Best game direction. I'm noticing a pattern here. Personally, I'm gonna say Balatro. You know I'm always gonna vote for the indie game. If I were to play one of them, however, it would probably be Metaphor. The best art direction, oh, the one indie game. Lovely. But I'm gonna vote for most likely the indie game. Probably Silent Hill, because there's like a song from Silent Hill that is so recognizable within 0.2 seconds, and it's from Silent Hill, I'm pretty sure. So for that alone, it's gonna be Silent Hill for music. But audio design for a horror game, I mean, we're probably gonna go with Silent Hill 2 then. The older I get, the less I play AAA games, and this is the problem with the Game Awards, is that it tends to focus on the more AAA side, when it's like, dude, I just care about the indie stuff. I'm the indie game guy. I played the first Life is Strange connection with that one, so I'll probably vote for that one. Black Ops 6 does a good job at accessibility. They've gotten a lot better at it, and I've actually played that game. Games for Impact, okay, I wanted to play Edinka. That was on my wish list, so I've been meaning to play that one, but so I haven't played any of these. I don't know. Again, I'm most popular with Life is Strange, although I feel like Life is Strange kind of fallen off the rails a little bit. I'm gonna vote for this one because I actually do want to play this one, and that one looks kind of cool. I love Helldivers too. They kind of fell off after the whole PlayStation, that whole like conundrum, and then I stopped playing it because of it. You know Fortnite's gonna win though. I like Destiny, I do. I don't like the financial practices of Destiny though. So I'm just gonna say Helldivers 2 because I've had the most fun with that game and I've actually played it. Best community support, I see. I'm gonna vote for it because it won last year, I'm pretty sure. Okay, best independent game. Okay, I actually just got UFO 50 because I kept hearing good things about it and I haven't played a lot of it. I've heard about all of them except Neva. I have no clue what Neva is, but it keeps appearing. Animal Well is that donkey game. I've heard good things and I need to play it. I haven't played it yet. Balatro, my sibling bought it for me and I love it. That game to death, it's so good. Lorelei and Laser Eyes, I've heard about it, it's really good. I love Annapurna Interactive, so I'd probably really like the game, but I haven't played it. Neva, I haven't played it. UFO 50, I just got it and I just started playing it. So I'm gonna vote for Balatro, and you know Balatro's gonna win, and I have the most experience with it. Best debut indie game, oh, you know it's gonna be Balatro. Either Balatro or Animal Well because of Donkey, but probably Balatro. Best mobile game, you know it's gonna be Balatro. It's either gonna be Balatro or it's gonna be like Pokemon. Best VR, dude. Okay, so I played Arizona Sunshine, the original, and it was honestly kind of garbage. I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't that great, so I'm not gonna vote for that. Even though this is the remake, I don't have good experiences with it. Played the original Metro, that was pretty fun, but I haven't played any of like the newer stuff, and also it's VR, and I don't know. Batman, I guess. Batman's pretty consistently good. I've had the most fun with Helldivers too. Legend of Zelda's gonna win. Why do they keep remaking Prince of Persia like every 5 years? Why is this a thing that just keeps happening? Probably Silent Hill. I didn't realize this said best RPG. But you know it's gonna be Elden. I don't want to vote for Elden Ring, dude, because they treat their employees so bad at From Software. I can't support them, dude. That's the problem. It's like nobody really talks about how bad the game industry is with like just treating their employees, and From Software is terrible at that. So I don't want to support them. I don't want to play Elden Ring. I don't want to play any of the From Software games because of that. That's also a reason why I'm not a fan of like the Souls-like games. On principle, I'm not gonna vote for Elden Ring even though it's going to win. From what I've heard, I think Dragon's Dogma 2 is probably the best because of what it does for the story. I haven't played it, but I saw like a few videos on it, and it's actually really impressive what they pull off if you actually finish the game, because not everybody did. Dude, I can't vote for Multiverses. It was fun for the first like week, and then everybody fell off. I like Marvel because of Spider-Man, but it's not going to win, but I'm gonna vote for it because I'm most familiar with it. Best family, every Nintendo game is here. I'm gonna vote for Mario Party. I love Mario Party, but it's probably gonna be Zelda. I've heard Frostpunk 2 is really good. So Frostpunk 2. This is the first year I'm seeing a WWE game being in the sports and racing. Also, there's one racing in the sports and racing. Why did they combine sports and racing? It used to be two different categories. Going for WWE, Helldivers or Super Mario, but I haven't played the new Super Mario Party. I've actually played this one, so it's probably for me. It's probably gonna be one of these two. I've had more fun with Helldivers with friends, yeah. Fallout's probably gonna win, but I haven't watched it. If I were to watch any of these, I'd probably watch Arcane. I've heard Arcane is incredible. No, never mind. It's gonna be GTA 6. As soon as I saw GTA, this is gonna be the most anticipated game. Everybody's memeing on it, clowning on it. Everybody's talking about this, it's gonna be this. It's gonna be this. And you know what? I'm gonna play it if it comes out. I will play it with friends. I'll do it. I only recognize one of these, and that's Queso, so Queso's gonna win. I love that he's at a Waffle House just because. I'm gonna vote for Counter-Strike 2. I think I know Faker. Liquid. I actually worked for somebody at Liquid. Fun fact with client work stuff. Yeah, Helldivers and Palworld. The two that I really liked and played quite a bit. But where's Balatro? Yeah, so that's my nominations. Let's see what happened at the Game Awards 2024. Since the Game Awards are happening literally tomorrow, I'm going to stream the event with some friends as we see how much indie representation we get this year. If you'd like to join us on our journey, there will be a live stream on my collaborative gaming channel called Rec, not R-E-K, but Rec, where we will have a big watch party. And if you miss it, well, you can just watch the live stream after the fact or wait until the highlight video that eventually comes out.